So everyone always asks me about the boyfriend who wrecked the car that paralyzed me. And he is dead. To me, seriously, forget that guy. There's always two sides to every story. I'm the narrator here, and this is mine. So we met when we were 23. We were just kind of friends. Just friends for a short amount of time. He's actually my little brother's best friend, but he was my age. And I told him. We just had really good conversations. And I thought he was like cute before, but he grew immensely attractive to me because of that. And then, after telling me he didn't want a girlfriend, then within 2 weeks, he told me he was in love with me and we were a thing. Didn't spend a day apart, you know, after that. We were on the same page mentally, emotionally, physically, intellectually, spiritually, everything. It just clicked. It was the easiest relationship I've ever had in my life, and I was incredibly happy. And I know he was too. Well, after the accident, his mom sent him off to the Betty Ford Center. And as far as injuries, he just broke his right femur, which is a big deal, that it would be a big injury. But when he would complain about maybe not ever being able to walk again or being told that, I wanted to be like, just shut up, just stop. And he would call me whenever he was able to and want to talk and talk. And I just didn't care. It's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. And also sort of like I was dealing with so much internally that I really didn't care to hear his stories, nor did he ask me any questions about my life. At Christmas, he was talking about how he wanted to get a ring and how he wanted to marry me and wasn't interested. When he came back, I automatically fell in love with him. I think that had to do with the fact just he had a haircut. He always had really scraggly hair, but not like long, good scraggly hair, just like scraggly, fine hair. He didn't take care of himself. He had like worked out, got a tan, and I was like totally back interested. The thing is, he would stay with me at nights, but it was like we didn't have anything to talk about anymore. We'd watch shows together, and it wasn't the same. I think that he didn't expect me to be that bad. At that point, I couldn't use a phone, didn't have the range of motion to use an iPad, couldn't like lift my arms like at all, or, I could just move my legs some, but like what help does that do? I had a shaved head, I was all broken out from the hospital, and I wasn't his hot trophy girlfriend anymore. I was hanging out with this other guy that we were all friends with, and I remember the other guy telling me that my boyfriend, let's call him M, asked the other guy if he was sleeping with me, and he was like, I don't care if you are, I'm just curious. And so you're into handicapped girls now? And also, no boyfriend should have to do XYZ for their girlfriend. So essentially, he wanted me when I was hot and something he could show off. And of course, there's more to that. The dynamic of our relationship did change. It does change because I became a different person after that. And it's not something he could ever relate to or understand. I could understand his point of view, blah, blah, blah. But I broke into his Facebook account and to another website he used. I found out he'd been having sex with this other girl, like described the girl and everything. I called him out on it. Said I got in trouble, of course, for snooping on him. Typical. Anyway, the last time I saw him was December 31st, I think, 2013. Tells me I've never loved anyone more than you. I don't know if I believe that or not, but I cried for like weeks afterwards, and that was around, well, a song somebody that I used to know was like, it was kind of old then, but I would still listen on repeat and cry and cry. He has never once reached out to me after this. the only times we've talked is when I've reached out to him. We've talked for hours. It's probably when I was like 29, 30, and 31. Hours and hours, like all night long. Says the same thing. I've never loved anyone more than you. And, you were special and all this. So I don't know what to believe about that. But whenever I ask his family members, like how he's doing and if he'd be ever interested in talking, which now I don't need to talk to him anymore ever again. They say, oh, he has PTSD and chronic anxiety because of what happened. And while I'm not doubting that that happened to him, he is, like, I think he's in a relationship still, like, and happy, and has a little daughter, maybe another kid right now, which always, really wanted kids. So my thing is, I don't think he thinks about me a single second of his life. And I don't think he has PTSD and that he has, like, nightmares about it or that it actually affects his daily living. Absolutely not. So it really bothers me that he gets to play the victim in this. I think that's what really bothers me the most, is that he never once reached out to me, never once asked anyone else how I was or how I was doing. Just, he moved on with his life while I have to live with this forever. And I try to understand that our relationship dynamic did change. But what bothers me is just the lack of care for me, I feel, as a human being. And even though he didn't mean to do it, I feel like, I don't know, I wish there was some kind of apology. But that's kind of the end of that story. I like to point out the pimples on my chin because my neck looks like a 75-year-old woman's. But I like to give a shout out to the pimples on my chin for keeping me young.